You have been chosen for a specific purpose, and that realization changes everything about how you perceive your life. Have you ever paused to ask yourself why the desires you once held so closely seem to have evaporated? Why is it that your drive isn't just lower than usual, but feels almost entirely absent? For many people in the world, this shift would be a cause for immediate medical concern or personal alarm. But for you, the experience is fundamentally different. It is not a flaw in your design, but a profound sign, a divine signal that something deeper is happening. God is speaking to you through this physical and emotional quietness, and this is exactly how He is capturing your undivided attention. This message isn't intended for the general masses who live solely by their impulses. It isn't for those who are merely curious about spirituality or those who are comfortably confused by the world. It is specifically for the called, the set apart, and the consecrated. If you are still here engaging with these words, something deep within your soul already recognizes the truth. You didn't find this by accident. Heaven led you here for a confirmation. You have always harbored a quiet knowing that you are different from those around you. You don't find yourself chasing the same fleeting prizes that the rest of the world seems obsessed with. Lust, which once might have felt like a powerful pull, now feels like a distant memory or a faint whisper. Physical pleasure doesn't have the same magnetic grip on your heart that it used to. You look at the culture around you and wonder why you no longer crave what everyone else craves. The reason is simple. Your flesh is no longer in the driver's seat. Your spirit has taken the lead, and as Romans 8:14 reminds us, those who are led by the Spirit of God are the children of God. When this internal shift begins, when your spiritual man rises above your physical body, the landscape of your life starts to transform. Desires that used to consume your thoughts begin to fade away. Distractions that once occupied your time start to fall away. This isn't happening to punish you or to make your life dull. It is happening to purify you so you can finally hear the Father. God is systematically stripping away the external noise so that His voice can become the loudest sound in your life. This experience isn't about suppression or denying your humanity. It is a form of spiritual surgery. What you are currently going through isn't a medical dysfunction or a psychological deficit. It is your destiny unfolding. Your low sex drive isn't a sign that something is wrong with you. It is a divine redirection of your vital energy toward a much higher calling and a more sacred purpose. This is a season of divine isolation where you are being rebuilt from the ground up. You aren't being abandoned by God. You are being anointed by Him for a specific task. You have become sacred ground, and sacred ground must be protected, sometimes even from your own natural inclinations. Habakkuk 2:20 tells us that the Lord is in His holy temple and the earth should be silent before Him. Right now, God is performing deep construction on your personal temple, clearing out the old to make way for the new. He is cleaning house, clearing space, and preparing your vessel for something much greater than mere temporary pleasure. This holy pause you are experiencing is not a permanent state of being, but a necessary phase of alignment. When the time is right, God restores desires according to His perfect timing and holy order. So, I urge you not to ignore this feeling or let the world's standards convince you that you are broken. In reality, everything is exactly as it should be for your growth. You are being sanctified, sealed, and prepared to be sent out. If this message is resonating with your soul, and you feel the Spirit pulling you away from the flesh and closer to the Father, acknowledge it in your heart right now. Let the heavens know that you are ready to fully embrace the calling on your life. Stay focused, because we are going to explore the 7 divine reasons why your drive has shifted and why this is actually the greatest blessing you've ever received. The first reason God has shifted your drive is to refocus your attention on a much higher calling. This change isn't a sign of weakness, it's a sign of refinement. When those physical urges quiet down, it's not just your hormones taking a break. It is heaven tuning your soul into a different frequency. You are being summoned into a new realm of service, not sedated into a life of boredom. God is making room for eternal things by moving temporary distractions out of the way. This transformation is often quiet in the physical realm, but absolutely thunderous in the spirit realm. While those around you are still chasing the next high or the next romantic thrill, you have begun to crave an overriding sense of peace. Where others feel excitement for worldly connections, you find yourself feeling spiritually drained by them. You now see compromise where you once saw simple pleasure. Invitations that used to seem harmless now sound like loud sirens of warning to your spirit. This separation is the ultimate proof that you are being elevated to a new level of authority. While the world spirals into deeper states of distraction, your soul is longing for something far more substantial. This isn't a coincidence, it is your consecration. Sexual desire is a powerful force, but for the chosen, it can become a subtle trap that entangles the mind in fantasies and emotional webs. God is pruning you because He doesn't want a divided servant. He wants a focused, holy vessel. In 2 Timothy 2:21, we are told that those who cleanse themselves will be instruments for special purposes. That is exactly what is happening to you right now. You aren't being dulled down. You are being sharpened for a specific battle. Your internal force is being redirected from human desire to divine destiny. You might have once craved constant affirmation or romantic touch, but now you find your greatest satisfaction in silence, stillness, and the absolute truth of God's presence. This isn't depression, though the world might try to label it as such. It is divine detachment. It is God turning down the volume of your physical body so that the whisper of His Spirit becomes unmistakable. When He calls a person for deep spiritual work, an emptying process must always occur first. He often starts by unhooking the strongest anchor we have, our physical desires. However, surrendered desire doesn't just die, it transforms into vision, wisdom, and spiritual fire. The second reason for this shift is to redirect your attention toward the eternal. This isn't about what you are losing, it's about what you are gaining in terms of alignment. What you're experiencing isn't a loss of your identity, but a holy repositioning of your soul. God is guarding your attention because your focus is a sacred resource. In a culture that is completely addicted to constant stimulation and noise, your ability to be still is a sign of a massive divine recalibration. You've been pulled out of the crowd because you're being built for something much higher than a common life. Where others crave the rush of a new romance, those things now feel hollow to you, like echoes from a life you no longer live. You are no longer meant to be driven by the body, but led by the Spirit. Colossians 3:2 instructs us to set our minds on things above, and for you, this has become a daily reality rather than just a nice suggestion. You are learning how to guard your gaze and how to value the silence of your own heart. This shift represents spiritual maturity, not a malfunction of your systems. There may have been times when you tried to force yourself to feel those old cravings again, just to feel normal. But every time you tried, it felt empty, didn't it? That's because when God closes a door in the spirit, the flesh cannot force it open. You are being set apart for His specific use. The third reason is that you are being initiated into a state of divine celibacy. This isn't about rules or religious repression, it's about a sacred transformation of your soul. Your body isn't failing you, your soul is finally waking up to its true purpose. This is a holy recalibration where you are called into a deeper level of intimacy with the Creator rather than a creature. This isn't abstinence born out of fear, but a voluntary surrender born out of a love for the divine. In the scriptures, before Elisha could step into his prophetic destiny, he had to leave his old life behind completely. Real calling always demands a level of separation from what used to be comfortable. This sacred season is not a void to be feared, it is a vessel to be filled. God isn't stripping away who you are, He is refining your spiritual authority. Your energy is being transformed into discernment, depth, and dominion over the darkness that pervades the world. When desire is left unchecked, it can become a leash that the enemy uses to pull you off your path. But when it is surrendered to God, it becomes the fuel for your prayer life and your divine wisdom. The hunger that once sought out physical connection is now seeking out clarity and stillness. You aren't losing your passion, you are simply changing its direction. This is preservation, ensuring that you are clean and focused enough to carry the weight of an eternal mission. The fourth reason is that God is rewiring your energy for divine authority. This isn't a temporary phase. It is a structural reconstruction of your inner world. You are gaining a new design for your life. God is updating the spiritual infrastructure that powers your entire existence. Throughout history, God has always prepared His chosen vessels in private before revealing them in public. Like Moses in the wilderness or Jesus in the desert, your transformation is happening in the quiet places. What once triggered a physical urge now triggers a spiritual discernment. You are becoming more sensitive to the movements of the Spirit and more alert to the unseen world. Your tolerance for gossip and noise is thinning, which isn't irritability, it's alignment. God is taking the raw creative essence of your life and lifting it to a higher realm. Your body is becoming a temple of revelation where the glory of God can finally reside without being crowded out by carnal noise. Finally, the fifth reason is to protect you from soul ties and spiritual contamination. The silence in your body is actually the voice of divine protection. God is shielding you from connections that could potentially destroy your destiny. For the chosen, intimacy is never just a physical act. It is a deep spiritual transaction. God, in His infinite mercy, is blocking desires that would have tied your soul to the wrong people, guarding your essence for the one true purpose He has for you. You are a vessel of light, and you cannot afford to carry the residue of broken spirits. You might feel isolated in this season, but you are actually being hidden and insulated. God is sealing every spiritual tunnel that could lead to your destruction. You are being kept pure for a divine alignment that transcends anything the world can offer. Embrace this stillness, chosen one, because it is the foundation of the power and the peace that will define your future. As you move forward, remember that you are not walking this path alone. You are being reformed into a lamp on a hill, a living sanctuary of the Most High. The old version of you may have chased after connection, but the new you is the connection between heaven and earth. Continue to walk in the light, stay rooted in the truth, and honor the sacred work God is doing in your heart. Your journey has only just begun, and the glory that lies ahead is far greater than anything you've left behind.